The nickname we give this case is the PE teacher case because our client was a physical education coach for children, for athletes. Now, this was a really difficult EB1A case, one of the most difficult ones we've done. Of course, every case we do on this channel is difficult, but this one stands above the rest, especially for an EB1 extraordinary case. In fact, in preparing for this episode, my team reviewed this entire case, and the notes they gave me was, CRFE, I really don't know how we did this one. They couldn't even figure out how we won. And that's our own team. Well, I'm going to tell you, let's get to it. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Zahn Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So the legal problem here was that this physical education coach wanted to apply for the EB1A, the extraordinary of extraordinary green cards. If we can prove that he is extraordinary and that him coming to the US will substantially help the US, then him and his entire family, they all get green cards and they could just immediately come in. Now, we spent 2 years preparing this case because it was such a weak case. It barely passed the threshold of us taking in this case, but we really wanted to help this coach, and so we spent 2 years massaging and preparing and strategizing, and then we filed the case finally, and then we get one of the nastiest requests for evidence, and we had to respond and prepare, and the hope was slim, but the case was approved. Let me go through exactly what was challenged, what we submitted, the strategy, so you can better prepare your case. The first thing we had to demonstrate was that he was going to do something that's related to his field of expertise. And that was one of the most difficult things about this case, because what is a PE teacher going to do in the US? Are we in lack of PE teachers? US is known for their athleticism. We dived into his entire case and we thought long and hard. He was a professor, he was a coach, he specialized in serving certain disabled communities. So we designed a business plan for him to come into the US to help people who are disabled. Yes, the US is huge on physical education. Yes, the US encourages all sorts of competitions, but the focus and the charities and the nonprofits that's dedicated to help disabled people to compete in the Special Olympics, that's still lacking. It's definitely more than other countries, but comparatively to the other infrastructure set up for the disabled, it's lacking. So with his special talents and his special focus, he's able to come into the US and solve that particular need. Well, we designed it, we filed it, but we still got a request for evidence challenging this idea. Let me read it to you. So this is on page 2. USCIS wanted to see documentation to establish that the beneficiary's entry will substantially benefit the United States. USCIS wanted to see evidence such as letters from current and prospective employers, individuals who will work in the beneficiary's field, other evidence explaining how the beneficiary's work will be advantageous and of use to the interests of the United States on a national level, or a statement from the beneficiary detailing plans on how their work will substantially benefit prospectively the United States. Sometimes I like to read that word, prospectively, the prosperity of the United States. And I always make that argument. So of course, the client could just write a letter saying, I plan on doing X, Y, and Z, and this is how it will help the US. But what if the case gets denied? We spent 2 years, we spent far too long on this case for it to be denied on such a technicality. So we wanted to go all in. Here's some of the things we did. We established a company. We had a client list of all the different people that he could serve. We have a detailed business plan. Of course, we have his letter, and we had all these recommendations from people who would want to work with him to make this happen. And that's just to prove that he is going to do what he intends to do. It's not just a letter, he's making it real. Now, the second part, how do we show that this is going to increase the prosperity of the United States? We went to the California Department of Education because the company is incorporated here in California, and we went through all these national and state level organizations focusing on physical education, and specifically memorandums focusing on the need for additional help for disabled people, children, and older adults. We threw in everything and anything that will support this cause, because it is true. I have a family member who is disabled, and I know how difficult it is to go about your daily lives, because when your muscles deteriorate, your life expectancy, your life well-being, everything kind of deteriorates. So having somebody in the United States who specializes in physical education for the disabled and did this on a national level at their home country, bring that expertise and bring in that company to serve the community might inspire change on a national level. And this is the reason why he won his EB1A. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves because that was only half the battle. The second part was we still had to prove that he's extraordinary. Yes, he has a good intent of coming to the US, then just apply for an EB2 NIW, National Interest Waiver. But we need to prove that he was extraordinary in order for him to get this EB1A. After submitting all these documents, we spent 2 years preparing. Only 2 of them met. We need at least 3, and we submitted 5. Now let me walk you through what we did. In flipping through this RFE, the immigration officer was like brutal. The first one, documentation about the beneficiary's national or international prizes. This criterion wasn't even claimed. That's brutal. The second thing, documentation of the beneficiary's membership. You submitted all of these things, but it is not enough because you need all these things. Please submit more. So that's one battle we had to fight. Prove that the memberships that he was a part of was quite extraordinary. Third thing, published material about the beneficiary. This criterion, again, was not claimed. Evidence of the beneficiary's participation in panels and judges. Evidences has established that the beneficiaries completed peer reviews. Therefore, this criterion has been met. Thank God, first one was met. Next, evidence of the beneficiary's original scientific, scholarly articles, athletic, or business-related contributions of major significance in the field. You have provided, and went through A through Z, all the things we submitted, but the record doesn't establish that this person is original and extraordinary. Please submit all these other things. And there's like 2-page list of documents. So that's brutal. So that's second battle we had to fight. Next, evidence of the beneficiary's authorship and scholarly articles in the field. This criterion has been met. Thank God, second down. Next, evidence of the display of beneficiary's work in fields of artistic showcases. This criterion was not even claimed. Again, savage. Evidence that the beneficiary has performed a leading or critical role in this organization or establishments that have distinguished reputation. Again, 2 pages. You've submitted this. There's all these things that we want to see. You're not extraordinary enough. Please submit more. Another battle we have to fight. Next, evidence that the beneficiary has commanded a high salary. This criterion was not claimed. Evidence of commercial success in the performing arts as showcased by box offices. Again, this criterion was not claimed. As discussed above, all of these things, you are not extraordinary, but you still have a chance. Again, even if you meet these criteria, we still have authority to reject your case if you do not prove that you are truly extraordinary. You have so many days to submit this document to the Nebraska Service Center P.O. Box. Please, we await your reply. Ugh! But the good news is that we met 2. That's a silver lining because this was a difficult case and the client understood that, and we prepared everything for 2 years. We needed to prove intent, we need to prove membership, we need to prove original contribution, we need to prove the leading and critical role. There's a couple things that we really needed to focus on, prove it, and out of all of these things, if we could just meet one of them, then he might make it. Now, the reason why even if you meet 3, you might not be determined to be extraordinary because every professor have publications, every professor judges their students and their peers, every professor might play a leading critical role in their department. Well, is that truly extraordinary? No, because almost every professor in every university falls into that category. So even if you meet 3, you need to prove that other people in your field don't have this. We focused this case on comparing him to other coaches in the physical education realm. How many of them risen up to the level of professorship? How many people have these type of publications, and etc. So we buckled down everything that USCIS wanted. We tripled the amount of documents and we fed it back to USCIS. Initial submission was like 1,000 pages. The RFE was close to another 1,000 pages. His whole family's life depended on this. Their future in the United States depended on this. And so we submitted everything, prayed to God, and the case was approved. So one of the most difficult cases we've done. We nicknamed this the PE teacher because he is really here just helping kids, you know? His whole family got a green card and his life and his legacy will be forever secure. My key point is, just like this client, don't give up hope. If you feel like you are somewhat extraordinary, that you are head and shoulder above your peers, it's worth considering because the United States has this flexible law that allows for anybody, anywhere in the world. If you are extraordinary in your country, in your field, well then you might have a chance at getting this EB1A green card. And that's it. If you have any question about this story or about your own EB1A, feel free to reach out. Take care. Talk to you later.